Aaron's stomach rolled a little as Blake made the turn into the driveway. Why was he still anxious about seeing Josh? It was his brother, for heaven's sake. He'd been so nervous, he'd initially even put on one of the few boring polo shirts he had left from old Aaron, as Blake liked to call it. Blake had sent him straight back to get changed, though, telling him he wanted 𝘕exy Aaron to show up. So he'd chosen a dark blue tank top with a sheer tunic over it that had a gorgeous abstract pattern in all shades of pink, ranging from the subtlest pastel to bright fuchsia. After debating for at least 5 minutes, he'd even put on a touch of mascara and a bit of lip gloss. Maybe he was nervous because he knew it would be a big group today. More people meant more chance of messing it up, of saying or doing the wrong thing. Then again, Charlie he loved. Aaron was only too happy to see him again. Brad wouldn't be an issue either. He'd been acting differently since Aaron had come back. Had tried to make an effort to be nice to him. He could still be aloof and abrasive at times, but Aaron felt that was probably more his character and not personal. He did that to Blake too at times. That only left Miles, the FBI agent, which was ridiculous because Aaron had nothing to fear from him. No, his trepidation was because of Josh. His own brother made him sick to his stomach. How sad was that? He let out a small sigh. "You okay?" Blake asked as he parked the car. Yeah. He felt like a total idiot that he'd had to ask Blake to call Josh. It was just that the thought of calling him with the possibility of being rejected was too much for him. Blake shut off the engine, turned Aaron's head toward him with a soft grip on his chin. "It'll be fine, puppy. I won't let anything happen to you. You know that." He nodded, a warm feeling replacing his fear. Blake had him. He had nothing to worry about. "Let's go inside." Indy let them in, and the solid hug he gave Aaron made his stomach settle a little. "It's lovely to see you, Aaron." Apparently, Indy had forgotten about the awkward first encounter they'd had, where Aaron had asked him out. Even thinking about it made Aaron cringe inside. He'd been such an idiot back then. Then Charlie came right up to him and hugged him tight. "Aaron, honey, it's so good to see you." Aaron held him close, reveling in the feeling that someone was actually happy to see him. Charlie gave him a thorough once-over when he'd let him go. "That top looks gorgeous on you." "Thank you," he said, touching it self-consciously. Charlie reached up to cup his chin, critically studied Aaron's very basic makeup. "You could do with a bit more color, honey, especially on your eyes. I can show you if you want. I've got my whole kit here." Aaron blushed, acutely aware of everyone watching their exchange. Charlie meant well, but this was the last thing Aaron wanted, to have everyone focus on how feminine he looked. "That's okay, really." He felt a hand on his shoulder and looked around to find his brother behind him. "I think that would look great on you," Josh said, squeezing his shoulder. Aaron tried to blink away the sudden tears in his eyes. This was so not what he had been expecting. "Thank you," he managed, his voice barely audible. Josh gave his shoulder another squeeze before he let go. "You've got time before we eat." Emboldened, Aaron nodded to Charlie. Charlie held out his hand, and they walked over to his bedroom. "Sit." Charlie pointed, and Aaron obediently sat down on the bed. Charlie rummaged around in the closet and came back with a huge makeup kit,